What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mel for another classic review, and today I'm doing something to give you guys a good treat because, hey, remember when I was reviewing the Goosebumps one about what my thoughts about the whole series? I might do a review of one of the each episode that I think that has a bigger impact. Yeah, this is right now, boys. Woo! And women. Oh boy. But yeah, before we begin, did you subscribe? Did you hit the bell? If so, are you in for a scare? You better be. And what better way to than a classic, The Haunted Mask. I was planning to do like a full episode of this, like review, but not just the first one and also the second one as well. But I decided to do a two-parter, which would be much easier than do both in one video because it would be like a 40-minute or 50-minute video, be too long. So I'm going to divide this. So this will be talking about my thoughts on the first Haunted Mask, and then after that, part 2 will be on the second one. So let's begin, shall we? So the Haunted Mask, the first one, was released in season 1. It was actually a two-parter of episodes 1 and 2. Which, of course, was the one that started the whole thing. Which was aired on October 27th of 1995 on the Fox Network. And damn! About 7.9 million people saw this. And, well, in Canada... Which, remember, all the episodes you see in Goosebumps were actually filmed in Canada. Same with Are You Afraid of the Dark? So, well, and turns out, when the Haunted Mask was released, it reached the VHS back on March 12th of 96, and Billboard ranked the VHS as the 75th best-selling home video of 96. Wow. And more than 2.5 million units of the VHS have been sold in August of 96. Damn. And that's the month and year I was born. August of 96. The 10th, actually. Damn. Am I born on a lucky star? But yeah. Let's get to the review, shall we? So the Haunted Mask has to be the most classic of all Goosebumps episodes because, come on. It's like a Halloween episode this time. And teach you to love yourself. And you better love yourself or that creepy shit is going to possess you for the rest of your life. No kidding. But yeah. And what not better way. It was actually, and here's the thing, there were 2 air dates. The original one, which was in October 27th of 95, was in the US, and the 28th was in Canada. Ain't that weird? But hey, I don't make the rules. So yeah. We begin with this episode with an introduction with R.L. Stine. This will be his first appearance making an introduction because he made a couple introductions and depends on a special episode like this one, The Haunted Mask, and also in The Haunted Mask 2, Tower of Terror, Dead House, Night of the Living Dead 3. Shit, what other? There were more. I try to remember. I think there are others, but I gotta check. But yeah, he said this was the scariest story of all. Viewers beware, you're in for a scare. Which we meet our 2 characters, Carly Beth and her friend. Oh boy. I forgot the name of her friend, damn. Let me check here. Let's see. Sabrina. Oh boy, they never filled out these stages. I had to do it by memory. So yeah, if you recall, in the first film, in the first Haunted Mask, Carly Bell was the who gets scared a bunch of times by the 2 idiots, Chuck and Steve. Which every Halloween they always scare or pull a prank on her every time. Okay, we're not the opening scene where Carly and Sabrina are walking down, which they're going to check out some pumpkins, and guess who pops out of nowhere? Both Chuck and Steve dressed as pumpkin heads. A premiere to an episode will be coming out soon, scaring the hell out of her. That's when she returns home and her mother made a bust of her likeness because she loves her. Of course, back at school, Chuck and Steve apologize. Unaware, I think Steve was the one who put worms in her sandwich. She didn't notice until when she took a bite. Yeah. Go eat worms. One of our Stine's, I think this is the one he hates. Least favorite, but yeah. Soon. Oh yeah, for to recall, when they were passing by the famous the mask shop, of course. Which, of course, just in time for Halloween. Soon, Carly decides to go to the mask shop where she meets the owner, Colin Fox. Which, as she explores, she sees a room which is off limits until she sees the mask. All of them. As she tries to grab one, the owner tells her to stop because he does not want to sell the mask to her. She asks why, because they're too scary. Which she says is perfect. And guess what she does? She pulls a 160 and steals the mask. But she was rethinking, but she's gonna keep it. So she tried it on. And she starts to enjoy it. Halloween night came. That's when, well, let's see. She already put on the mask once, took it off. The second time, she tried to play a prank on Sabrina, making sure it ain't her, but revealed it's her. Twice. Final time. Oh boy. Soon, Carly Beth starts to, her behavior starts to change, her personality. Soon, as I think, she ran off, doing something until then we see Chuck and Steve go to a graveyard. Well, I think Chuck was trying to play a prank on Steve by scaring him, of course. Carly hears them and goes through what he does. Goes in there, scares the shit out of them, pretends to be somebody else. And remember, she's holding the bust of herself, so she's playing a prank on them. Which, of course, Chuck and Steve don't know it. And she tells them to apologize to Carly Beth. As she does, you can see the bus comes to life, says, "Help me, please, help me." Damn, that is the creepiest thing. If you've seen that when that first came out, you gotta be scared shitless when you saw that bus come to life, especially that uncanny way of CGI. Damn, even Carly Beth got spooked when she saw that. Which, of course, scared the hell out of Chuck and Steven and ran off. Which Carly Beth forgot, and she got happy. She started howling. And what she did, she buried the bus in the graveyard. Soon, back at home, she tried to take the mask off, but she couldn't. Sabrina tried to help her, but couldn't find because there's no line. Turns out, the mask has become her face. Which, of course, she leaves. Soon after, she returns to the mask shop where the owner was waiting for her. Which he tells her he cannot help her because it's not a mask, but a real face. Which she doesn't understand. And he explains that he calls them the unloved ones because of their hideousy. It turns out those were his faces. Because he didn't like what he is, so he makes a mask to make him more, wanted, attractable, but due to his flaws, it starts to contaminate the mask and turns hideous. Like, that's why you see all those masks like that. Those are the flaws. Soon, he wants to scare her and tells her that she was the only one who loved them and wanted them. That's when Carly Beth refuses. Soon, he drags her, show her a mirror, and soon we can see her now becoming one of the mask. As one. You can see her mouth moving with the mask. The jagged jaw starts to move. She can talk. As her own face. That's when he tells her there's a possible way, which is the symbol of love. Which, of course, he was about to fret her, say, maybe you should, as a lesson. Soon as she yells, somehow he knows, he turns around, he tells him to be quiet, because she woke up the other mask, and they slowly come to life. Literally. And that was the most uncanny thing ever, because if you were like a kid back in the 90s, saw those masks come to life, they start to float around, saying, "Please, Carly Beth, join us. Please join us. And repeating with that weird voice and the way they're moving, like floating. That is creepy. Damn. I know CJ maybe look better, but I like the old style. It looks more original. Yeah. She runs out. She's okay. As the shop owner tells her to run, she runs out, but she slips. Damn, Carly, you're slow, ain't you? Soon she gets up, trying to unlock the door. Finally unlocks it, and soon, I think she forgot to close the damn door because they managed to get out. You can see them coming out the door. Please, Carly Beth, join us. Oh boy, she runs to the cemetery quickly and trying to dig up the bus. So like, damn, how big of a hole you buried that bus? And I think she actually tells them to no, and they hurt her, and they slowly coming towards them. I think the fat mask was the creepier one because the way it moves, like a Muppet bouncing, is like creepy as shit. Soon they found her and start to surround her, like rotating. That's when she finally pulls out the bus and shows her, "This is Carly Beth. This is me." Which scares, that frightens them, and they vanish right there. Soon, she finally takes off the mask, and she's free. She returns home. Her little brother, which I mentioned, being a little shit he is, tells her that she still has the mask on. Freaks her out. She looks in the mirror. Nothing. Of course, in the end, she breaks with her mother. She's happy, but her brother does something stupid. He puts on the mask, and he just makes a laugh for it. And, of course, we cut with R.L. Stine and say, wow, that was a scary episode. I wonder what my parents think. Mom? Dad? Damn, his parents are scared shitless. I think they like it. I hope you do. Have a scary night, everybody. And that was the first haunted mask, but I think I can do the second one because I'll do a quicker one, okay? So yeah, let's get to the second one because it'll be fun. So we all remember the second one, which, oh boy, it's like a doppelganger. So yeah, this time it ain't with Carly anymore. Oh no, it's with Steve. So yeah, we meet R.L. Stine again. This time in the workshop where he makes where the high mask was made, and we see R.L. Stine looking at a mask. And he said, "Oh, hi, I'm R.L. Stine. I write the Goosebumps books. The evil of the Haunted Mask still lives on in our story, The Haunted Mask 2. This is the mask. This is the shop where the Haunted Mask was made. And the owner has left, not here. He left in a big hurry. Wonder why? You'll soon find out. Viewers beware. You're in for a scare." Which, of course, we get a title card of The Haunted Mask 2, which we see the opening, which is like a garage door with a bunch of pumpkin decoration. And we see Carly Beth and Sabrina. Looks like Carly has a new positive attitude, unlike from back then. And funny part, this is from season 2, so this aired in October 29th of 96. So, wow. A year later, so that's quite like an improvement. Of course, the two are like walking back home, which is past their curfew, which Carly and Sabrina notice. That's when they hear something weird. That's when Carly screams and knocks over Steve and Chuck, who were hiding behind a tree. Which, of course, they were trying to scare her, but fortunately, it didn't work. Still, Steve wants to know where Carly got the mask, which she refuses to. But Chuck steals the bus from her and started playing hot potato with it. That was a dick move. He was to bust the bus. They were trying to tell her where the mask is, but fortunately, Sabrina catches it and gives it back to Carly, which he tells them, you better be well, you better be a pirate again this year. Which, of course, Chuck didn't like it because Steve didn't like it because he wants to be scary, but that's when Chuck says, hey, you can be a scary pirate. Shut up. That's when Sabrina asks Carly, where did she hid the mask? And she says, in a secret place. And guess where it is? The cemetery, of course. Fun fact, they actually did it in an actual graveyard. Cool. But yeah, we get to see one of the gravestones, even a gravestone for a dog named Rut. Soon we see something popping out, trying to get out of the grave, and guess what it is? The mask. Literally. Right there. Soon we see the mask rising up and slowly floats away. And guess where he's going? Soon we're back at the shop. Looks like we meet the mask maker, if you recall. Looks like he's been a year, and since soon he knew he had no time because he has to hurry. He grabs, I think it was 3 or 2. I think 2 of the mask and shove it in the furnace and watch it melt. As he about to grab the last one, he heard somebody to come in, and he heard this wispy voice, a yes. He turns around and is the haunted mask. He's like, hey. And he just freaked out. He knew that Halloween has brought you back. Yes. I will stop you. No. And soon the unmasked just attacks the shop owner. And soon we see the shop owner getting up. And oh no, it ain't the owner anymore. It's the mask. He managed to possess the control of the owner's body. And we get a glimpse of the only mask that's never been destroyed. It's the old man mask. We get back at the school. We see Steve sitting on a bench, which we get a little glimpse of like these kids excited for Halloween. Even an old man walking, which this would be a important part here. Right there, Chuck trying to find Steve because he was looking for him after class. Of course, Steve is bummed because tonight's Halloween, which Chuck says, duh yourself. Next year we'll be too old. And Chuck says, I'm not. Of course. As they walk by, they see the haunted mask, and that's when Steve and Chuck sees it and say, hey, don't you remember that Carly Beth had that? And that's when they start chasing it and say, hey, where do you get the mask? As they follow him, it's where do you get the mask? And the mask just pointing him to there, and we see the shop, which is now looks like in ruins, like abandoned, and also closed. That's when Steve wants to see if it's open, but Chuck tells him we should get home and get ready for time. You should be a pirate, but of course, Steve ignores him, saying there may be better stuff than being a pirate. But Chuck hesitates, leaves. Steve went inside looks like the entrance to the basement. Sees looks like a bunch of old junk until Steve turns around and sees the old man mask, which of course he takes it. We see his mother. Looks like he's sewing a parrot for his pirate outfit. Which when's the last time you see a dog wearing a party hat? Of course, well, it's Halloween. The dog likes to party. Yeah. But yeah, he manages to get home, race up to his room, and looks at the mask and tries it on. And we get the shock that the mask slowly absorbs like a perfect fit in his face, you know. That's when his voice started to change, like an old man voice. Even his mom, when she walks up and hears the voice say, Steve, who's there up with you? Nothing. Which, of course, Steve takes off the mask. His mom showed him the pirate outfit. Which, of course, yeah. That's when he knows there's spiders on the mask, which, oh boy. Back at Carly Beth's house. That's where we see the mask looking through the window and seeing her. Until he sees the bus and he starts to... Carly Beth's mom heard something, but they pay no attention. Of course, Carly Beth dresses as a duck. Then his little brother dresses as a bee because he wants know where she has the mask, the haunted mask. So he dresses as a killer bee. Of course, her mother told her, "I thought you got rid of that." Of course, she explained the whole thing, but of course, things imagination. Of course, so Carla leaves for trick or treating with her friend Sabrina. Meanwhile, they're both talking. That's when he ran into Chuck, dressed as a mafia boss. What are you making some reference from The Godfather? Literally. The Tatalia family, I think. Of course, that's when he mentioned Steve. Of course, he thought Steve's bummed because he could be a pirate again, but he said no because he found this party shop, which Carly Beth takes on ear, saying, "Which shop?" Of course, he said it was abandoned. He asked if Steve went in. Say, "I don't know. Why you care?" Which she says, "Nothing." Of course, Steve went to... Sorry. I was saying, went to find Steve. Of course, Steve plays a prank on Chuck, pretending to be an old man, which, yeah, never. He never seen the mask, so... He calls into Chuck as he sees him. It scares the shitless out of him, pretending to be an old man who stole Steve's clothes. Of course, Chuck is about to run, but Steve tells him stop, took off the mask. It shows him he's actually him. Chuck was impressed, but he asked him where he got the mask. He told him not to tell anybody. Wait, you got it from the store? You took it? The store was out of business. Of course, he wants to see it, which, of course, he puts on the mask, and she shows it to him by scaring him. He tells him it looks so real. According to the spider. Soon, we get some strange things happening to Steve, like his personality, plus he's getting tired. That's when, of course, oh boy, Steve starts getting tired, and more like an asshole. Soon, Chuck leaves him, which of course Steve's enjoying himself. Meanwhile, we get to see Carly and Sabrina having a great time, which, when Chuck runs into them, they ask about Steve's name being a total jerk because he has to be a pirate again, but no, Chuck says he's not a pirate. He found this weird mask, which, of course, Chuck has to tell him the truth because, of course, this is more important because it's a matter of life and death. Because right now, Chuck's being an idiot. He doesn't know about what happens. Soon, Steve is slowly becoming more like an old man than a young man. First, he's throwing pumpkins at the door, then scaring the shitless out of the little girl who doesn't want to go to bed. Go home early because it's Halloween. Then he ran into a bunch of kids. Like one was dressed as a vampire, one as a football player, trying to ask him to take the mask off, which, of course, he couldn't because no lines. The mask is now his face. Soon, Steve slowly turns into an old man. He collapses, finding a stick, using it as a walking stick. Soon, Steve, Chuck, Sabrina, and Carly go trying to find Steve because he's in great danger. The first place they're going to check is the Halloween store, the party store where she found the mask, got her mask. As they arrive there, it's all abandoned, which she told them, until she hears somebody walking around, which is actually the haunted mask. Looking through, somehow he managed to get out. They went inside the store, nobody was there. Even Carly Beth scared the shitless out of Sabrina and Chuck. Meanwhile, Steve, now becoming an old man, starts to get tired. He knows somebody right in front of him. He looks up. It's the haunted mask. Which he tells him, "Your face, so old, so hideous, so perfect." But Steve complies. "Who are you?" "I am the evil who controls you, old man." When Steve says, "I'm not an old man, I'm a kid." "You were an old man, a kid. But when you chose the mask, now you and the mask are one. You're an old man, a feeble, helpless old man." What he says won't be, will be. Until he does what he says, because one thing he wants to do is get revenge on Carly Beth for what happened. So of course, Steve agrees, but on one condition, that he helps the mask get the bus of Carly Beth, which is in her home, because that is the symbol of love that protects her. Of course, Steve has to comply, or he'll stay as a feeble old man forever. Which the Ilmac says, louder. He said, yes. Now go! I'll wait for you in the cemetery. I'll wait for you amongst the graves. Which he gives him a deathly warning. You'll remain be a feeble old man forever. Of course, Steve goes to Carly Beth's house, pretends to be an old man asking for water. His mom can't imagine her face seeing an old man like that. Soon, she wants to get some water. Steve walks in. She tries to find the old man, but he ain't there. Steve is actually hiding. Manages to grab the bust. Walks out. The mom didn't even notice it. Soon, we see Steve walking in an alleyway. It's almost midnight. He managed to get to the graveyard. And also, they're not the only ones, because, hey, soon, he's looking for the mask. Of course, the mask's right there, right in the fog. You see him like that weird, like the hood and cape, like he's like an evil emperor or something. Of course, as he slowly walks down, he asks him if you brought the head of Carly Beth. He said yes. He's about to show it to him, which of course he didn't want to see it, because remember, it's a symbol of love. That's the only thing that can defeat him. He tells him to destroy it, and he says why? Because without it, she has no protection, of course. He didn't want to at first, but then the mask starts to torture him with spiders, make his bones soft as cheese, turns his eye into pus, which of course, remember, he can actually do that. Soon Steve says, okay. They, you're groveling. Good. I like that in a boy. Soon as Steve about to break the bus, he sees the bus alive again, saying, please help me. When the man replies, more spiders, anyone? Smash it! Smash it! When Steve smashes the bus, we hear this weird ominous howling, literally. As the bus has been destroyed, that's when we hear Carly Beth calling out for Steve. What the man hears, let's not keep her waiting. Soon, actually, they enter the cemetery, which is the last place they have to check, since it was the place where she scared both Steve and Chuck from last year. Soon as they arrive, that's when she knows where she buried the mask is not there anymore. It's been dug up, which it freaks her out. Sabrina tries to tell what's going on. The mask is a lie, which she doesn't get until they turn around. The mask is right there, freaking all three of them out, saying, sweet Carly Beth, it's time we finish last Halloween. Hold her, old man. Which we see Steve grab hold of Carly by the arms because, hey, he has no choice. Chuck tries to tell him to stop. The match just snaps at Chuck, saying, the old man will do as I say. Now you'll see through my eyes. Forever! He managed to knock off the shop owner. Remember, he's controlling the shop owner's body, so he knocks him out. He's now floating. He's about to possess Carly until Steve throws her and blocks the mask from getting her, which it strikes 12. The clock bongs. Soon, the owner manages to wake up, knows everything. That's when he sees Steve and tells him, remove the mask, young man. Remove it now. Which he manages to remove the mask. Wait, it's just a mask. Of course, Carly tries to know the evil mask was awake. She pokes it. But it's just a mask as well. That's when the shop owner tells him, when you throw yourself in front of the haunted mask to protect Carly Beth, that is a symbol of love. Which, of course, it is as well. Not just the bus. He's about to sacrifice his life against the mask. So, yeah. Which, they try to find him, but it turns out because he was possessed by the mask. So that's why. But he told him, the evil is now dead. Let's hope it stays that way. So he leaves Among Us in the fog, and that's it. Soon we're back at home at Steve's home. They're like checking the candy, except Steve, remember, he's bummed out because he didn't eat candy. Of course, as Steve Mo walks in, asking if they want hot chocolate, and he went back in the kitchen. That's when it's time to burn the mask. Guess what they did? They pulled each of their masks and threw it in the fireplace and watched them melt in the fire. Soon they went and get some hot chocolate. Without they even notice, the haunted mask managed to get back to life. And the little dog is like, grabs the mask and buries it in the garden, literally. And the mask is still alive. The haunted mask. And of course, and that cuts it there with R.L. Stine saying, well, that Steve is a good kid. He brought me some of his trick-or-treat goodies. Cream filling, my favorite. Good night, everybody. And that was the Haunted Mask 2, which, damn. I love these ones because, come on. It's the one episode you gotta see on Halloween in October. You got to. Come on. But yeah, let me know what you think of the Haunted Mask 1 and 2. What was your favorite of the two? And what was your favorite scene? Because to me, I always like the first one because it's a classic. And it's always been the number one in all of Goosebumps. Because, come on. It's a whole Halloween episode about a mask that was about to take you over. And, yeah. My favorite scene has to be when all the masks wake up. Right there. That has to be the most freakiest part of all. Imagine you're right there. You just want to get rid of get that mask off of you, and somehow you see all the other masks wake up and start to float and tell you to join them and chase you to the graveyard. You want that to happen to you? No, right? But yeah, let me know what was your favorite scene or any of the both episodes from seasons 1 and 2. To me, it's always been the first one. But yeah, let me know what you think of the video. If you like the video, give a like it. And also, if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe, hit the bell so you won't miss out on our great content. And don't worry, there'll be more coming up soon. So, have a scary night, everybody. Peace.